that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place where I'm trying to tell you that it's the most important thing, because the food becomes the cells, which become the thoughts, which become your emotions. And what you think about expands in your life, and what you feel about draws that to you even quicker. So the choices you're making are either going to be destructive or constructive. If you're feeling terrible all the time, how are you going to make constructive decisions? If you're feeling terrible all the time, your mood will define exactly how you perceive a situation. And the situation is just a situation. It's never either negative or positive. It's how you define it. It's how you perceive it. So obviously, if you're perceiving things negatively, you're going to make a negative, destructive decision in that moment, unless you have the willpower and the good feelings and the good sense to step back and observe your own ego, which is one of those wonderful principles that we need to discuss and to embody and to become, which is the observer self. Now, a lot of people, most people, I'd say 95% of the people in the world or more, consider themselves to be human beings with a spiritual side or a psychological side or a mind, when it's actually our self is saturated ubiquitously and omnipresently through the entire universe. It's just, we are pinpointed awareness. So in actuality, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And this is a common cliche that people kind of overlook nowadays, but it's the truth. This is the law, that our awareness and our perception is us. We are consciousness. Our minds are not us. Our minds are our tools. So there's an easy way to prove this to yourself. You sit back and you watch your thinking. You watch your thoughts. You know, the images on the screen of your mind will pop up and they will disintegrate and melt into other images. And they do this seemingly at random, and it is actually that way. But if you still your mind and you watch, you become very aware that you're the one that is aware of being aware. You're the infinite power and being and consciousness. That is not your name, that is not your body, that is not anything but pure awareness. So what you do by watching your thinking and strengthening that observer self is you're actually getting more of a sense of your higher faculties of what self really is. So you're not your mind. Your mind is a tool. You're not your body. These are instruments that we use in order to create in the world on the physical plane. Now, physical isn't really physical anyway. That's just something we use to define through our sense of touch and sight and smell and hearing and taste. They're not really real in the sense that people think they are. I mean, if you get a high enough powered microscope, you'll see that everything is just a massive vibration and energy. Now, I don't want to belittle that or dumb that down, because honestly the principle behind it is huge. It's massive, and it's awe-inspiring, truly. So when you dive into these principles, just because they could be explained for the most part, and for the most part not actually, they should still leave you with this lingering sense of awe and inspiration. I mean, it's kind of like this. We're on this planet, revolving around the sun. We're going extremely fast around the sun, but we don't feel it. We don't perceive it. The sun, now they're determining the sun is revolving around another star, and they've yet to prove this, even though ancient traditions have been saying it for thousands of years. But the sun is moving through space as well. Now, this is a fact. And it is going immensely fast, a lot faster than the Earth is going around the sun. Now, the sun is traveling around the galaxy, and the galaxy is spinning itself and traveling around. Everything is going in these spirals, so it's never in the same place ever. So the universe is in constant flux and constant change and constant expansion and constant growth, just as we are, because we are a direct reflection. We are the microcosmic representation of the macrocosmic self, which always, I mean, never ceases to blow my mind. Because if I can consider a universe that is, well, in relation to me, infinite, then obviously the mind that created the universe can create something much more complex and infinite than I could ever even conceive of. And that blows my mind even further. And like I said, it should leave you in a constant state of awe and inspiration and bliss. This is where I don't understand how people get bored. There's this overwhelming epidemic of boredom in the world being created by sedentary creatures and habits, playing video games, getting too much television, not enough exercise, not enough education. And the primary goal in your life should be to sit down, read as much as you can about these principles, listen to the CDs, go to these seminars of personal growth and achievement, and start really internalizing how important it is to get in your mind that you create your own reality. Your thinking is just the tool to create all your dreams and all your goals, which are inspired from the higher ideals. So like I said, I mean, if you sit back and you really think about the universe and the spiraling and how nothing's ever in the same place and just how expansive everything is, you can get that sense of real connection and real, well, we'll call it spiritual inspiration, and you can bring that into yourself, into your goals, and then start creating more and more and more higher ideals and work on developing that character. And like I said before, the character is the destiny of the person. So when we develop that, we become acutely aware that the intrinsic value in the inner work is invaluable, is immeasurably valuable. So the more time you actually spend sitting in solitude and visualizing these things that you want, it's infinitely more valuable than going out there and trying to change the outer world and change the outer results. Because the thing is this, we have our inner world, which is 50%. The outer world is the other 50%. The inner world is something that we have 100% control over. This is our personal boundary, our psychological space. It's basically under our complete control. So a lot of people get stressed out because they don't feel like they have control over their minds. It's complete chaos in there. There's no order. There's no organization. There's not a lot of passion because they haven't discovered what they want and their purpose and these things. But I'm here to tell you that everything is up to us. Life is up to us. Life is an inside job, fully and completely. You know, the outer is just an illusion. You cannot define your inner state and your emotion by what's going on around you. You have complete control over what's going on in you. So how you react to your environment is up to you. It's your choice, and that's the difference between constructive and destructive, once again. So in reality, if you have 100% control over what's going on in you, there shouldn't be any stress at all over that fact. Now let's get to the other part of it, the other 50%, which is the outer world. Now the outer world, the weather, other people, circumstances, all these things that are going on around you, they have no bearing over your stress level at all, because you choose how to react to these things. You choose your thoughts, you choose what to think, and therefore you choose what to feel, because your feelings are defined by what you think about. So if you have 0% control over what's going on outside, the weather, the people, the circumstances, then you shouldn't be stressed out about what's going on outside either, because you have no control over it. So you can let it go. So in reality, this is the truth. There's 0 degree of stress in your life unless you allow it to be stress. So there's stress for one person, the success-minded person, the goal-oriented person, who views that as opportunity and an ability to take their awareness to another level. It's a challenge. And in most cases, not even a challenge. So you keep trying to find more and more and more challenging situations and goals in order to create that level of purpose and passion. So my point in closing is always going to be very, very simple. You become what you think about. This is something the wisest people throughout all time have been saying over and over and over again to us. Of course it's been suppressed, and of course it's been oppressed, but now we're having this movement with the internet and with technology and how information is just readily available. So there's no excuse anymore for people not to know, not to take complete responsibility over who they are, what they want to be in their life, and what they want to become. It's not in anybody's best interest to take an approach that everybody else is doing and obviously not working. So when you step out of the mold and you get out of that in the box thinking and realize there's only about 3 out of every 100 people that are successful in life, even less than that, then why does everybody follow the crowd? It's almost like there are a bunch of lemmings jumping off a cliff, and just because everybody else is doing it, you got to do it too. Now, I'm here to say there's another way, and it's readily available. All the information you ever needed is right in front of your face. It's all here for you. All you need to do is take that initial step. So what I'm putting out there, and why we should work together, is I make it very easy and very clear, step by step by step, how to get to those other levels of awareness, these higher levels of awareness, to get it into your mind, to integrate these new habitual patterns that will have you making all the constructive decisions rather than the destructive ones, and rather than getting rid of a bad habit and replacing it with another bad habit. The limits in life are not real. They are self-imposed, and actually life is infinite in its possibilities, and it's only up to us to utilize our imagination and the laws of the universe, which we'll get into depth with, and principles of life that will considerably alter your awareness, strengthen your will, ignite your passion, inspire you in ways you've never dreamed before, and get you success that you could only possibly have dreamed of before. So we want to get you dreaming big, thinking big, getting inspired, and feeling hope, because there is a way, and this way has been propounded throughout thousands of years. This is common knowledge for the select few, and this is how people get wealthy, this is how people get healthy, this is how people succeed in the world. They master their thoughts, they master their minds, and they become what they think about.